on your
You know what
home
time it
safari
is?
through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now I do need to ask that everyone, including children, please remain seated at all times during our safari. Small children are more than welcome to sit in your lap. They can usually see better from up there. Just make sure everybody stays on their bottoms at all times. Absolutely no standing allowed during our safari. Now that means no standing on the floor, no standing on the bench, no standing in anyone's lap. Please do not hold your children up in the air and do not let them walk back and forth in the row. Everyone, regardless of age, must remain on their bottoms at all times
On your
during our
bottom.
safari. If you're taking photo or videos and you can change the setting on your camera, you might want to put your camera on an action or sports setting. The roads of the reserve do tend to get a little bumpy. That action or sports setting should help keep your photos from coming out blurry. And please hold on tight to cameras and cell phones. I cannot stop for anything that falls out of the vehicle. Over to our far right-hand side, I've got a large dark brown animal with white stripes on its legs to the far right. This animal is called an okapi. A lot of people think they're related to zebras, but they're
Because they
not.
have the legs of them.
Okapi are the forest cousin of the giraffe. Very shy
see
and
it.
elusive okapi were not discovered by the Western
Thank you.
world until about 1901. Unusually late for such a large animal. Also to our right in the bushes, you might catch sight of a couple of large black and white birds down by the water on the right. Those are saddle-billed stork. One of Africa's tallest storks. They can be up to 5 feet tall and have up to a 9-foot wingspan. Looks like I've got a couple of different types of antelope up ahead on the hill on our right. Try to get you guys a better view of them here in a moment. If they go to the other side of the hill, it's okay. We're heading that way as well.
The rhinoceros.
On the hillside to the right, the tan antelope is a greater kudu, Africa's second tallest antelope. That one's a girl. The boys get bigger and grow spiral-shaped horns. Straight back to our left, having a bit of lunch, is a black rhinoceros to the left, all the way to the rock wall. Now, I know they look indestructible, but black rhinos have been hit really hard by poaching. There's less than 5,000 of them left in the world today. Fully grown one like that one can weigh about 3,000 pounds. You can also run at up to 30 miles an hour. I got a second black rhino on the hill
They
to
don't
our
stop.
left.
They don't stop.
Conservationists are working together with local people to monitor black rhino populations, assist in the emergency vet care, and rehabilitation of black rhinos as needed. Back over to the right, we've got more greater kudu, but the reddish-brown colored antelope with the white stripes to the right are called bongo. Bongo have been nicknamed the ghost of the forest. They're known for being shy and rarely seen, but this herd is very much used to our vehicles. Got another view of that black rhino to our left. And then we're going to start making our way over to the Safi River. There we'll be on the lookout for hippos and crocodiles.
When Y uses emoji.
Hippos can be a bit tricky to see during the daytime, and that's because they spend much of that time in the water.
Squirrel, it's Sandy Cheeks.
This does make hippos nocturnal. They tend to be their most active during the night. That's when they usually come out of the water to graze on plants along the shoreline. Got a couple of hippos in the water coming up on our right. Don't worry if you're on the left. We'll see more on the left in just a moment.
Well, he's got a fit.
A couple of hippos in the water to the right, and then a whole bunch of hippos in the water to the left. Decent swimmers, hippos can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time. Most of the time when you see them
Which one of
moving
these
around, they
following
just
four
walk on the
animals
bottom
are
of the river.
nocturnal?
Also to our left, you'll see pink-backed pelicans. These pelicans get their name because during their breeding season, their backs will turn
Look
pink.
at the size of those
The
feet.
girl pelicans choose their boyfriend based on who brings them the nicest looking stick. That stick will then go on to become the foundation of their nest. So instead of a ring, she gets a house. We're about to cross over a really old bridge, and this is the part of the river where I usually see Nile crocodile. You're going to see those crocodile coming up on our left. Just make sure everybody stays seated for me, please. Nile crocodile can grow up to 20 feet in length, weigh almost 1,000 pounds, and get the Nile part of their name because they were discovered in the Nile River. But you will find them in just about any body of water in Africa. They've even been known to go swimming in the ocean. We are now heading to the savanna grassland system of the reserve. This is where we should see the greatest concentration of animals. On our way there, I want to show you my favorite kind of tree that you'll see here in Africa, known as the baobab, or the upside down tree. I've got a really nice looking one coming up on the right, and you'll see more of these trees scattered throughout the savanna.
Not the mama.
Baobab trees do remain leafless for about 9 months out of the year. And during the rainy season, not only do they grow leaves, but they also produce a citrus-tasting fruit that the locals will use to make some
Baobab trees. You said in unison, a baobab
Now, we're already
tree.
starting to see movement on the savanna up ahead, including giraffe
I like how
and
Stanley
wildebeest.
giggles.
I should be able to get you pretty close to
Like
just
the
about
kitty
everybody out here.
cats.
Many of the animals that live on the savanna will live here year-round. Others will migrate through during certain times of the year. This is all a part of the wild Africa we've been working so hard to protect. Now I see giraffe and wildebeest to our far right, but we're going to get a lot closer to them. Up ahead I do see Ankoli cattle coming this way. Big brown cattle, great big giant horns.
And sheep and goat and rabbit and things and pigs and clam and macaronios.
Oh my gosh, how fantastic. That's crazy. Those are all videos and stuff online.
These are Ankoli cattle coming up on our right, big brown cattle, great big giant
Look at those
horns.
great big giant
Also known
horns.
as the Watusi, named for the
Watusi.
first tribe in Africa to domesticate the cattle over 6,000 years ago. Now the bull is the really big solid brown one with the biggest, thickest horns. The others are all cows.
Ooh,
Now
nice.
those horns
nice
do for the
shot of
cattle
them.
what a radiator does for a car. Those horns help to cool their blood down on hot days so that they don't overheat. The horns are mostly hollow inside, allowing for blood flow.
Ryder. We got to hold
Over to the left, you're going to see some brown, black, and white calico-looking dogs called painted dogs inside and in front of the cave, also known as the African wild dog and the African hunting dog. One of the most successful hunters on the planet, teamwork is the key to their success. In the dog family, painted dogs are most closely related to foxes. They even have a big bushy tail like a fox does.
A fox with a bushy
Got
tail.
another Ankoli cow coming up on our left. These are the cattle represented in Egyptian hieroglyphics. This has earned them the nickname the Egyptian Longhorn. The strange looking cones of earth popping up everywhere are termite mounds, but not the kind of termites that eat your house. African termites spend most of their lifetime inside those mounds. The mounds are made out of dirt and termite saliva. Baked in the hot African sun, they become as hard as concrete.
A blimp with
Over
a
to the right, we've got
with
small tan black and
flag
white
that
gazelles called
says
springbok,
Stanley.
and that's as big as they're ever going to get. Typically weigh
Gazelle.
about 70 to 100 pounds. Get the spring part of their name because they can leap 10 feet in the air to get away from a predator. Springbok can also run at 50 miles an hour. They may be little, but they're very athletic animals.
Stanley, go back in your bed and rest.
Got the giraffe and wildebeest up ahead.
Like
Keep
the
an eye out
kitty.
for several baby giraffe. We have
Squidward
several
just
baby
like
giraffe in the herd right
self-portraits
now.
of
The
him.
youngest is around 2 months old, The oldest is around 10 months old.
There's more. There's more.
Some more springbok over to the right. You see the baby giraffe back by the big tree stump on the hill. A couple of them are laying down, one's standing up. When baby giraffes are born, mama giraffe does not lay down to give birth. Baby giraffe drop from an approximate 5-foot height. Thankfully, they're really tough babies, and by the time they're about an hour old,
picture
they
of
are
Lionel
up
and decorated
and
the
following mom
picture,
around.
the frame with
These are
guitar
Maasai
picks.
giraffe. Maasai giraffe
I
are
wanna
one
climb a
of 9
tree.
different types of giraffe found throughout Africa. The Maasai are known for their beautiful reddish-brown color and lacy look to their patch pattern. Giraffe are the tallest land animals. They can be up to 20 feet tall, and they have the exact same number of bones in their neck that you and I have in our necks. Theirs are just a whole lot bigger. That's 7 cervical vertebrae. While the gray animals over to our right are white-bearded wildebeest. Wildebeest are part of one of the largest animal migrations left on Earth. When wildebeest migrate across the Serengeti, their herds
Singing in the
number in the tens
Serengeti
of
is really
thousands.
hard.
We're going to start making our way into elephant country. I do know a couple of watering holes.
Grandma,
the
pop
elephants
up,
like to
say
hang out
hello,
here.
elephant.
We're going to take a drive by both of them, see if we can find just some elephants today. Over to the right, I've got an adolescent male elephant that's part of a herd of elephants I've been tracking. Oh, honey, that ain't a baby. That thing weighs 5,000 pounds. That ain't nowhere near a baby. He's more like a teenager. He's like a high school kid. He's right around 12 years old. Likes to wander off on his own, have little adventures by himself, but he always makes his way back to the herd. He's not quite old enough to be on his own just yet. As I mentioned, he weighs right around 5,000 pounds, but that's not even half grown for a male. Male elephants will typically weigh more than 12,000 pounds. That's almost twice the size of the girls. The girls will typically weigh between 6,000 and 8,000 pounds. Let's see if we can find the rest of his herd.
Brandy and Pop Up, say
Researchers are studying
hello.
elephants and how they communicate with one another in an effort to better understand exactly what elephants need to survive. Turns out
Here
a
comes
lot
the
of what
bridge
elephants
jet.
say to each other we cannot hear. It's infrasonic or below the human level of hearing. Those infrasonic sounds can travel really far, and one elephant can be talking to another elephant up to 5 miles away. Now the really cool part is not only do elephants listen to those sounds with their ears, but they can also pick up the vibration of the sound through the ground with their feet. So elephants listen with their ears and their feet.
Wow, that's very talented.
I see more of his herd over to the left. That's one of the adult females there. Let's see if it looks like there's more beyond her. Let's see if I can get you a better view. Herds of elephants are made up of females and their youngsters, and for the most part, all the females in a herd will be related to each other because mothers and daughters will often spend their entire lifetime together. The boys, on the other hand, get kicked out of the herd when they become teenagers for getting too pushy. The boys will then either live on their own or hang out with a bunch of other boys. Looks like I've got some more of the kids up ahead.
Hold on to it, right? Keep it in. Keep it in. Get ready, buddy. Right, get ready.
We're going to have a giraffe really close right up ahead of him. He's nibbling on a bush over here.
Bush nipple. Right, give me, I gotta get this side now.
There's that giraffe. There's
Oh,
two
here's one right
over to
here.
the right. Whoa! And then I've got several adolescent elephants to our left. The one furthest to the left is an adolescent female that's about 9. She's kind of like a middle school, junior high kid. The one closest to us is another adolescent female that's also about 12 years old, also kind of like a high school kid. And the other one is an adolescent male that's about 8 years old. He's more like a middle school kid.
Another one over here.
Now, elephants can live into their 70s, although 55 to 65 is a bit more common for an elephant. Another giraffe over here to our right.
Isn't that
How old is he?
funny?
They could live till 70.
That's it. I will stop.
You mean a giraffe? You're,
3,000.
Oh, we're going off road.
Here's a hidden Mickey coming up.
Coming up on our left, we've got greater flamingo. Greater flamingo are the largest but lightest pink of all flamingo species. They get their coloration from the brine shrimp that they eat. It's the keratin in the shrimp that turns their feathers pink. Depending on where a flamingo is from, will depend on what it eats to turn pink. Indian and African flamingos eat brine shrimp, but Caribbean flamingos eat red algae.
right, hand back, baby. Where?
I've got a table coming up on our left-hand side. This table was set up by the reserve warden. He's reminding us to keep an eye out for any unusual activity in the reserve. We haven't had a poacher problem in a really long time, and the warden wants to keep it that way. Got some white rhinoceros on our left. I'm going to get you closer to them. Much larger than a black rhino, white rhinos can weigh over 5,000 pounds. Black rhinos
I need
are
a
known
certain
for
kitty
being
and puppy to
solitary.
pop up and
White
sing a
rhinos
certain
are much more
song.
social.
Barney
They
and
live in
Friends, no,
herds
Sesame
called
Street, nada.
crashes.
Stanley.
The good crash rhinos. I got a
Rabbit
couple
does not like
rhinos
Sesame
over
Street,
to
but he
our
loves
left,
Barney and
but I've
Friends.
also got some on our right that I'm going to get you a view of for those of you on the right. First, let's get these ones on the left.
Baby. 1 second, baby.
And then in the bushes coming up on our right, you're going to see another group of white rhinos on the hill.
All right, baby, let me take the ones on this side.
Not named for the color of their skin, it's a mistranslation. White rhinos get their name from the Afrikaans word white, meaning wide, refers to the rhino's wide, grazing mouth. It was accidentally translated to the word white, and the name stuck.
It's called the wallow.
Okay, I got an animal that's really tricky to see to our far left,
About me
all the way
barking
back
in
up
the
against that
pool.
wire fencing. There's a part where there's a bit of sun and a green plant. Just under that green plant is a cheetah. You can kind of see the yellow color of her
I
on
see
that
him.
dark
I see
ground.
him.
Oh, she just popped her head
There.
up. Fastest land animals, cheetahs can run at speeds of over 60 miles an hour, but only for short distances. They don't have good night vision, so cheetah prefer to hunt during the day, and they're the only big cats that do not have retractable claws. When you look at a cheetah paw, it's a lot like looking at a dog's paw, and that aids in traction when they're running at high speed.
Good luck, Stanley.
Looks like we made it to the Kopi. That's this big rocky outcropping coming up on our left. This Kopi is home to a small pride of lions. And I've got a male and a female lion down here on the end of the Kopi right by this bush. This is pretty much what lions do for about 18 to 20 hours out of the day. Lions prefer to do much of their hunting at night. It's cooler, easier to sneak up on your food in the dark, plus they have really good night vision. Now, it is true that the girl lions will do most of the hunting for the pride, but the male's main job is that of a protector. Not a lot of animals will mess around with a fully grown male lion. He can weigh over 500 pounds. The girls are about half that size.
Daddy. You want me to have a catch? Shoot some hoops? How about,
I've got a second lioness coming up. She's on the highest rock of the Kopi.
Oh, right there.
Way up high on the highest rock.
It's Leia.
Lions are much better climbers than people want to give them credit for.
See Leia?
Yep, I do.
I got it, babe.
That's awesome.
Here you go, bud.
There's probably a nice breeze up
To read
there.
a book. How to
Lovely day to be up there.
play checkers, take me to see a movie, to see Toy Story 4. Who will read me a book? Sing me a goodnight song.
Okay, going to be a little tricky to see, but to our far left, just as the hill slopes up, there's a warthog laying there.
Warthog.
He's
That's
just
what
to the
warthog
right of
says.
the books. Warthogs are Africa's largest burrowing mammals. They use their nose and tusks to root up the dirt, dig nice big burrows that they'll use to sleep in during the night.
I see it. I'm looking on the screen.
No more lizards.
Coming up on our right, I've got a couple of dark brown and white antelope laying on the ground called Montabak. Very rare, only found in protected reserves. Montabak used to be hunted for their fur. I've also got a nest of ostrich eggs on the ground to the right. Largest egg made by a bird takes about 18 to 24 chicken eggs to be the same size as one ostrich egg. Now, ostriches will leave their eggs alone for short periods of time. The eggs themselves are very difficult to get into. The shell can be up to a quarter
Maxie is
inch
in this
thick.
tape.
We're heading into the Magadi Glen. This area of the reserve is known for its geothermal activity, but as of late, the geysers have been pretty quiet. Over to the right, I've got a beautiful brown and white antelope called a scimitar horned oryx. Gets his name because his horns are shaped like scimitar swords, and those horns can get 4.5 feet long. A desert dweller, oryx can go up to 9 months without drinking any water. They'll get all the moisture they need from the plants they eat. Desert dwelling animals tend to have really interesting adaptations that help them survive in very hot, very dry climates.
Kitty cat, something, something up.
This does end our safari. I hope you got to see some of the animals that you really
The
wanted to
same year
see.
this park
If not,
opened.
I do invite you to come back and join us again sometime. Different animals do tend to be active at different times of the day, and no two safaris are ever the same. I'm going to drop you off near Warden's Post. From there, it's just a short walk back to the village of Harambe. I'll also be dropping you off near the entrance to the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Take a stroll through the forest and you could see western lowland gorillas, hippos from under the water, meerkats, zebras, and one of my favorite animals down on the trail, the naked mole rats. Oh my God, mine's
Rofet!
yeah, you have not lived
You
until you've seen
didn't
a
destroy
naked
the
mole rat.
disco
Gotta go
ball.
check them out.
You?
They're actually
It was Kim Possible who sat
Now,
in
if
a
you enjoy
cage
seeing the
and
animals,
destroyed
make sure
it.
you make your
And
way
you
over
just
to
dropped
the
it on
Asia
the
section
floor.
of the park. There's